Hello, classmates. I am here to do my Story 1 presentation. For my story, I chose to interview my grandmother. Her name is Rebecca Adams. I call her Mima. She is easily one of the strongest, most hardworking, wonderful women I know. She was a single mother of 4 children, a 3-time cancer survivor, so she is made of steel. Definitely a tough lady. So this is a story from a chapter in her life. So in 1970, my grandmother was newly divorced. She was working at University of Southern Mississippi as a VA counselor. She did not make much money doing that. She told me she made about $400 a month. That wasn't a lot of money even back then. Her rent was actually $250 a month, so she did not have a lot of money to spare, and she did have 4, young children, ages 1 to 11 years old. So, she found out that she was really sick and was going to have a hysterectomy, and went in to tell her boss that she was going to have to take time off from work. And he said, go ahead, have your surgery, but we have to fill that position. So just come back to us when you're recovered and we'll put you back to work. So she went, had the surgery, got recovered, came back to work, but she did lose a lot of time and a lot of money, and things were tight. So it was getting to be summertime, and she really wanted to take the kids on a family vacation. They had always gone on a family vacation. This was the first year they were not going to be living with their father in the home. So it was really important to her and to them as a family to do that. So she's sitting there with all the kids, and she's trying to brainstorm, what can we do to come up with some money to go on vacation with? And they decide, well, how about we sell some watermelons? So at the time, one of her friends was dating the produce manager at Winn-Dixie, and she called him up and she said, hey, would you be willing to buy some watermelons from me? And he said, well, how many? And she said, as many as I can fit in my car. And he said, you want me to buy a carload of watermelons? But they worked out a really good deal, and he said, yes, I'll buy the watermelons. So off they go into the country. They were living in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, so they go off into the country and find this farmer selling watermelons, 4 for $1, and tell him, she goes up to him, my grandmother goes up to him and says, hey, you got to make me a better deal on these watermelons. He says, lady, I'm already giving them away. She said, well, I'll give you 5 for $1. So he says, okay. He looks at the car, sees kids in there, says, okay, how many do you need? And she said, as many as will fit in my car. So they proceed into loading all these watermelons into the back of the Pontiac, and they go on home. And when she gets home and they're unloading them, she realizes she's got more than the produce manager's going to want to buy. So she tells the kids, load these up into wagons and go door to door and sell them. And that'll be another way we can make some money, because I don't think Winn-Dixie's going to buy this many watermelons from us. So that's what the kids do. She sends them out, wagon full of watermelons, peddling them out through the neighborhood, and they sold them all through the Winn-Dixie. The guy at Winn-Dixie said he had never bought watermelons out of a car before, but he did that for my grandmother, and the kids made their money selling them door to door, and she sold a few to the people at her job at the university, and ultimately they had enough money to go on family vacation to Pensacola, Florida, and all the kids got $25 apiece to spend however they wanted. Interesting story, my mom used her $25 to buy a pet monkey, so then there was a 5th child. So that is the story of the watermelon vacation. It is a story that I've heard before. I didn't have all the specifics until I talked to my grandmother about it, but it's kind of a notorious story in my family of how you can really make something if you put your mind to it. Where there's a will, there's a way, kind of thing. She was up against a lot of hard circumstances, but like always, she got to thinking and she got inventive, and she did what she needed to do to get the result she needed. And that's something that is inherent to her personality and something I've really taken away. So I'm very proud that she's my grandmother. I'm very proud to be her namesake. And I'm very proud that they had the watermelon vacation. Thanks.